Hi everyone, welcome to the Stitch Bird's Nest, my little corner of the internet. I'm Rachel, I'm coming to you from New Zealand and I am here to update you on what I've been working on. So I'm going to start with a few of my projects that I've been working on for the last month, and then I'm going to go through some of the haul, because there has been a lot. I have had lots of courses on, I have had some trips away, and there has been craft shops, and there has been merchant malls, and there's been shopping. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad at those sorts of things. So there has been some haul and some new starts. Got a few new starts in there and a little bit of life update at the end. So yeah, let's get into it because there's a bit. So we will start with my let me just double check the name. I can never remember the name of this one because it's something random. Nature cross stitch by 2x2 stitch art. So I'll pop a video up here of where I was at last time. Picture, where I was at last time. I've done quite a bit on this because it is really good for the WIP Warriors. If anyone's doing WIP Warriors, you'll know the game, online game. Get through your WIPs. It's good because you can do big chunks and get through it quite quick. So this is coming along really nicely. It's really pretty, and those big chunks are going to be fireflies, so they're getting left all last because they're going to be yellow, so they are going to be super pretty when they are done. I am loving how this is coming together. It is so pretty. That is going to be super nice. But it is taking so much longer than I thought. I somehow thought this was going to be a quick project, but I'm not even at 50%, and I've been working on it quite solidly for months. Thought I was just going to whip through it, but no. Full coverage, taking a lot longer than I thought, so yeah. I think I'm at like 48 or 49%, so I'm almost halfway. But it's taking me way longer than I thought, so it's going to be really nice though when it's done. It will look really pretty. So that is Nature Stitch Art 2x2. Got that one off Etsy. Next up is my Gothic Cathedral, which is by Gothic Cathedral Temperature Stitch by Circle Cross. So it is black work, and I started doing this on the DMC, the Etoile or something, on Black Ada, and oh gee, that stuff is horrible. You may have heard me on my last video say about how horrible it is, and I gave up. I gave up, and I'll show you. So this is what it was looking like, and at a distance, maybe you think, oh yeah, no, that's not too bad. Well, I can tell you close up, it's a dog's breakfast, and it's not quite getting quite the detail on there. That it's not focusing very well. Yeah, don't think it's focusing very well, but take my word for it. Actually really bad, especially I think you can probably see down here how uneven the stitches are getting, and I'm following that pattern really closely. I know my stitches are in the right place, but it is just messy. It bends where it wants to bend, and it just sticks out where it wants to stick out. It's not smooth, it doesn't kind of curve where you want it to. Nasty stuff. You should look up if you don't know what it's called. It's called the Devil's something. Devil's hair, not head hair. Put it that way. I've restarted this. I did a restart, very small restart. I picked up while I was on holiday in Sydney, I went to the place called Stitch, and I picked up the, and how do I say this? I'm so bad at names. Aveswa, maybe, silk, and feels so nice. It is just the softest stuff, like bunny fur. It's really soft. It's just in a white, and I picked that up and I started my teeny tiny little start of a gargoyle. But it is, if I can get it to focus properly, it's going on today. It is sitting so nicely, and sitting so nicely, and the edges are all coming out sharp, and everything is kind of where it should be, and it's going to be a much better, sit much more nicely. Downside, it doesn't have that little bit of sparkle that I think would make this super special. Yeah, pros and cons, you know. It's not quite the answer I wanted, but it is going to give it a really good, a good shape. It's going to come out really defined, which is really what you want on something with such a high contrast. So much better option, not 100%, but certainly will work a lot better. Still a little tempted to find something with a little sparkle that's soft, but maybe in this instant, can't have everything. I don't know. No complete answer. Love the pattern and everything, but yeah. What else have I got? So I've got my little bottle patterns. So this one that I did for this month, these are the little mini bottles I'm doing. I'm just picking one a month. Off Etsy, the patterns are by Irina Konopolich, and they're from the website Thousands Patterns on Etsy. And she does a whole range of them. And I've already done the scissors cross stitch bottle pattern, and for February I chose Girl on a Swing. So I'll show you that. There it is. Girl on a Swing. I've got my scissors and now I've got Girl on a Swing. Isn't she cute? So cute. I loved doing that one. I love the way her hair sits. And the cherry blossoms, there's French knots in there, which gave it that really nice texture, that really nice three-dimensional kind of thing going on. But yeah, I just love the way her hair sat. I thought that was a really clever way of doing it. Yeah, but really nice little patterns. It was very satisfying to finish a little bottle each month. Yeah, so for next month, I was humming and hawing about what pattern to do because there's so many of them. They're so cute. And I was watching the I think it's pronounced like the Huga Stitcher. It's written Hygge, and it's Samantha, but I think it's pronounced the like Huga Stitcher. And they're doing a Year of the Dragon stitch along there. You know, you just stitch anything with the dragon on it and things. And I don't want to do any big starts. I don't want to, because I've got so many things in the works and I've got other things I want to start. I was thinking about this dragon, and what did I find? A tiny little bottle with dragons in it. And I thought, that is adorable. So my next month is going to be these two tiny little dragons that are the cutest things I've ever seen. And if you have kids and you've watched How to Train Your Dragon, you'll recognize these two. So that is definitely what I'm going to do for the next one. So watch the space. There will be tiny dragons in bottles. So yeah, they are super cute. So that's what I'm going to do for next month. Tiny dragons. So that made me very happy. Right, the next one I've got is Changing Seasons. And this was a fox and rabbit mystery stitch along, and they did this free and in I think it was 2022. Double check that. Stitch along, yeah, 2022 mystery sampler, and I chose to do this in good old 310 black and 890, which is just a nice rich deep green. And this is where I was up to last month. My plan here is to basically just do it month by month like it was done originally. So I did a section for last month, which was this piece along the top here, which, I mean, how good is that? So good in the black and the green. Yeah, really liking the black and the green, so I'll hold that right up. So that's where I'm up to so far. Done the 3 sections, and this month I'll be doing this blank area here. Yeah, so nice. And I keep forgetting I haven't done that black work in the middle. I don't know why I didn't finish that black work in the middle. Sorry, that back stitch in the middle. Completely missed it. But that is coming along so nicely, and when it's done, it's going to be this big. So there is a lot to go on this. A lot to go. But a bit each month might be done by Christmas. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm looking forward to filling in this little section here. Because it's a repetitive pattern, you know, like it's going to be like something different to this, but a similar style, and that it'll just repeat through the box. And I find that quite quick and quite relaxing. So that'll be quite nice. And maybe I'll go back and finish that back stitch in the middle that I completely and utterly missed. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I thought that was pretty funny. I was like, someone else pointed out to me, they're like, oh, how come you didn't do that middle bit? And I was like, I actually have no idea. Actually, until you pointed it out, didn't even notice that that actually hadn't been done. So there you go. So I've got, I'll show you another little bit I've been working on. So if you watched me last month, I introduced the field journal from Cottage Garden Threads. They did this kind of around the lockdown period. This was going around, so lots of interruptions to the delivery, unfortunately, but that was COVID life, wasn't it? And they get sent out these little kind of pre-printed. That's really hard to see in that light. Very hard to see. Yeah, if I get real close, you can see a snail on there. These pre-printed little squares with whatever you're getting that month, snail, flowers, whatever. And you get sent out the Cottage Garden Threads. Check out that one. That is galah. How nice is that? You get sent out 4 of them. What else have I got? Oxalis. That's really pretty. And this one's all been unwound. This is the one I was using. This is Damask Rose. It goes like through pink and brown and everything. Pinky brown. It's a bit hard to see. But yeah. I only got through one of these this month, and actually it's not totally done, but it's looking really nice, so I thought I'd show it to you. So this is a rose one. I've been using the Damask Rose. So I'm almost done on that one. But it's looking really pretty. I kind of only do these ones if I'm sitting waiting for the kids. They're really good because I have them in this little tiny little package that This is a pattern by Anila Hoey. So it looks like a little tray, and then you zip it up, and it goes into like a little, if I can zip it up, becomes like a little box, like a little pencil case almost, with everything in it, which is kind of cool. So it's good for having packed up for when I'm doing stuff with the kids. So yeah, so I haven't done much this month, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Sometimes the last thing I want to do when I'm waiting for the kids is anything really. It gets a bit boring, but I've had a lot of classes this month. I've had 2 classes from 2 amazing tutors, both from Australia. I have done a class with Alison Cole. Alison Cole was amazing. I've just done this class in the past weekend. It is a Clio goldwork embroidered butterfly. Sorry, I can see the light is reflecting. So it's a really rich sort of pinky red, and it's got gold work and green beads and blue beads and metallic threads and all kinds on there. In fact, I'll show you a few of the things that come with it. I'll show you where I'm up to. So this is my one. That's where I'm up to. So I've got the fabric on there. I've got, this is called Pearl, which is you can see there, it's like sticking out. It's a gold metal thread. It's coiled that I'm stitching down around it. And then I've got small pieces of metal wire that I'm stitching down inside here, and this is a metal thread that I've laid it down and like stitched over the top of it to coil it around, and this is a little piece of beetle wing in here that I've stitched down, and a few little beads up in here. It's all it's pretty involved, but it's fun. And again, some thread that's been laid down and stitched through. It's pretty intense, but quite nice. It's so hard to get focus on this. I haven't realised until I've been trying to show all this detail. If anyone's got any tips on that, I might have to work out how to get the focus a bit better on this thing. So I keep like my goldwork stuff in these cute little boxes. So this is a little tin that I've got. And I keep my little threads in. I've got this one as well. How sweet is that? Reflecting the light. There we go. So we get these like, see, it's gold thread in there, tambour thread. Pearl, that's the thick sort of gold thread. This is beetle wing. See how shimmery that is. So pretty. And I've just got packets and packets of all these metallic threads and the beautiful shimmery teals and golds. So I've got a lot of work ahead of me on that. Alison Cole is such a good teacher, and she's so funny. She says the funniest things in class that just have you cracking up. She said a few things I'll never forget, which was so amusing, and I'll tell you one of them because I got her to write it in my book and sign it because I thought it was so funny. It's a bit cheeky, but so on that wire that's on here, see how this kind of moves? So this type of wire, you actually have to stretch it out in order to get it to a sort of state in which you can stitch over it, and the threads will go down inside these gaps that you've made by stretching it out. And it comes all closely coiled together. And she said the way to remember whether you've stretched it or not, because when you go back to it, have you stretched it, have you not, you know, how can you be certain, is if you haven't stretched it, then it kind of sits limply. If you have stretched it, or in other words, played with it, it will be stiff. So if you haven't played with it, it will be limp. If you have played with it, it will be stiff. That's what she said. That is how you know whether you've stretched it or not. Which had us all in hysterics. So, part of my haul was I purchased her book, The Midas Touch, which is actually one of her older books. And I asked her if she could sign that for me and write a reminder. And it says, "Dear Rachel, it gets stiffer the more you play with it." And then she wrote in brackets, "Pearl Pearl," which is the name of the wire. That is Alison Cole, March 2024. So I have a great reminder of that class. So it's just like embroidery and jokes, isn't it? But I thought that was really funny. So I've got that to remember it, which was pretty good. But it was a good class. She's a really relaxed teacher. You know, you can tell that she herself is probably a bit of a perfectionist, but she doesn't expect that of you, which I think is always what makes a really good teacher. You know, like they know their stuff inside out, but they don't expect you to be perfect, which I think is always pretty important. Her book, The Midas Touch, is, you know, there's so many beautiful things in here, which, you know, there's so many lovely things that you could make. But I bought it for one particular project, which I'll show you. Look at this. Look at those poppies. How crazy is that? I mean, my goodness. Those are stunning. Stunning. You know, and she's got other butterflies and stuff in here. She's got a golden rose. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. So that is pretty amazing too. So that was that class anyway. So the next project was another class, and this was with Maree Talbot. It was it's called bookbinding class, but it's actually an embroidered book cover. So this is it here. And I'll pop it up here actually, just because the light today is making it hard to see a bit. And it's got these gorgeous threads. I'll just pull them out here. Look at those. So these are gumnut silks. Look at those pretty colours. And this is the tiniest thing I've ever worked on. I have never worked on something this small. So this is where I'm at here. Can you see? Can you even see this tiny, tiny bird? Look at its head. It's ridiculous. I bring it back, you can't even see the bird. Honestly, like, look how little that is. And look at this tiny rose. I mean, it is small. Some of the ladies in this class had magnifiers and magnifying glasses and lights and everything on this. And we were working in, what size needles was it? I was just looking at that too. Oh, here it is. So we were using a size 10 sharp, which is pretty small, and then she gave us a size 12, and in a size 12 you can barely see the hole in the needle. It is so small. It is so tiny. Yeah, it is tiny. I mean, it's just beautiful. It really is just beautiful, but my goodness, it's small. I really enjoyed this class though. She was such a good tutor. I just felt like I learned things from the first like 10 minutes. So there's two sides to the book. This side, and this is the spine. And the plan is that you do these sections of the book cover, and then there's another class in September to teach the actual making of the book cover, which you don't have to have the cover. You don't have to have the embroidery done for. It would be really nice to have the embroidery done for that. I am despairing a bit as to how I would have the embroidery done for that. But yeah, I'm trying to think how I could break up all the embroidery for this to have it done for September, because I think otherwise it's a project that could you could put off just because it's so small. So I'm trying to think, like how could I get this done? How could I divide this up so that a certain amount gets done every month, so that I could have this done for September? And it does feel a bit overwhelming. It really does. So yeah, any motivational thoughts out there would be awesome, because I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed by this. But yeah, it's yeah. There's the embroidery to do, and then there's a lot of beading to do around the edges of the actual actual embroideries. So beading I'm more confident with though. I can couch down gold work and beading, and that's no problem. It's just that tiny embroidery, which is quite intense to say the least. So we'll see. Right. I think that's all the projects. I have one more. So what shall I do next? I had quite a bit of haul this month, as I said, because I had trips away and things like that. And in between some of that haul, because I wanted to start a new project and I needed some bright coloured cloth, and I just didn't have the right stuff, and I was feeling a little bit like, oh, I've just bought all this stuff, I need to buy more stuff. No, I knew I was going to be at a course later and I would probably be wanting to buy more things. Didn't want to be spending the money on coloured cloth, because I looked up how much it would be to buy what I wanted. It was going to be like 40 or 50 bucks, and I was feeling a bit didn't want to spend it. So I went through the stuff I had, and I didn't even have, and I thought I'll dye some, right? No, still didn't have anything I could dye. Thought I'll go to the op shops. So I actually had a really dismal time finding anything at the op shops. It was like Hamilton was cleared out of any old embroidery cloths or anything. And it took a while for me to find anything. And ironically, at the last place, Merchant Mall I was at, there was a sales table with so much linen, but that's another story. Anyway, at the last, I went away to WOMAD. If anyone knows what WOMAD is, the World of Music, Art and Dance. So travels around the world, big music festival. And in New Zealand, it's held in New Plymouth. And we're in Hamilton, so it's 4 hours away. So we drove over to WOMAD, And on the way back, we stopped at this tiny, tiny little town, like 6, 7 shops, to have a bit of lunch. And there was an op shop on the way, walking back to the car. So stopped at the op shop. Oh my goodness. I could not believe what I found in this op shop. Let me show you. So I found 3 cross-stitch kits. Well, 2 cross-stitch and 1 embroidery kit. Okay. And I just dropped all of it out of his bag. So the first one was, this was a Fox collection kit. So this was like Craig's Hut, which I'm not really familiar with. And it has this massive chunk of 18 count Aida in it. And that was $12. So I was like, thank you. It's got all the threads. It's got all the Aida and everything in it. Not a pattern I'll use, so I'll probably just give away that pattern. So if anyone wants it, let me know. Let me know in the next couple of weeks, and yeah, I'll be quite happy to give that one away. But I'm going to use the Aida and I'll use the threads. Brilliant. So that was one. The next one was this was a big map. I was just like, this is Italy. And thought this is huge. And this was a kit too. It came with all the threads. It came with a big piece of 28 count, which is exactly what I wanted, exactly the right size. So I was stoked. I think that was $6 or something. So I got that. So I had that nice big piece of 28 count. The third kit I got, and I could not believe my eyes. Anyone knows the brand Raj Mahal? They know they do metal thread kits. So this one is a seahorse kit. So it's printed on a silk. So it's got a printed seahorse pattern, printed on silk, and it came with all the Raj Mahal silks, all the Raj Mahal sequins and beads, all the silver threads, or silver metal threads. Like this is all smooth sari, check sari, all like proper silver metal threads. More smooth sari. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe what I was seeing. Beautiful art silks. That one will not be getting pulled apart. That one will be getting done. But that was $12. I cannot imagine how much that was when someone first got it. And I also came across a big piece of Aida cloth when I was in there. Massive piece. And a small piece. So stoked. I had all this cloth. So I went to the Spotlight and I got a pack of, and I've forgotten the name. Cannot remember the name, but you'll see it in my video because I've got a little video coming out. And ocean blue, and I decided to dye my fabric, and I will pop in a little video right up next. Okay, so we're gonna try dyeing some fabric. So behind the camera today we have my lovely 9-year-old daughter Aida. And I would just like to apologise, she is not named after the fabric, and that is entirely coincidence. Her name is spelled Ada, and she's named after Ada Lovelace, the wonderful mathematician and first person to write code for computer code. Okay, now you take the camera. I'm just going to turn it around, and so you can see Ada. There she is right there. She might even smile if you're lucky. Right, there we go. Okay, so turning back. So we're going to have a go with dyeing. So this is a cloth. I think it's about 16 count.
It's a little bit, oh, I thought, okay.
Just step back a little bit. There we go. About 16 count. And then I've got 28, 32 count, I think, And I've got this one here, which I don't know if it's going to die because it's kind of
Stuff
shiny
and stuff.
and it's a little bit synthetic. So, but I'm just going to try it because why not? So over here we have our bucket. I have this Dylon Ocean Blue.
Where'd you get it from?
I got that from Spotlight. Good old Spotlight. So
because you love Spotlight, Mum.
I love Spotlight. Into the bucket it goes, and it looks purple, which is slightly disturbing, but it's supposedly blue. So
just pour the whole packet.
Yep, whole packet goes in, and we stir it with this brush.
Now that's going to be stained blue.
Yep, that's fine because it's completely expendable. So we mix that in. Also looks purple. And then we're putting in 250 grams of salt. Oh, and the dryer's just turned on. We'll just pause that. Can you just pause that, please, Ada?
You hold the camera. Yeah, we'll just cut this part. We'll just cut this part off, you know?
Right, so we're just going to keep stirring.
Yeah. We'll just cut this. It should be okay.
And we just keep stirring and stirring until the salt and stuff dissolves. You can kind of feel it under the brush. It's a bit gritty. Okay. Feeling less gritty, but it really, really stinks. So
I'm pretty sure dye always stinks.
kind of does. So in goes. Oh, gee, it smells. The 8 o'clock.
It's purple.
It looks really purple.
It's purple.
It really better come out blue. In goes.
It looks purple.
It looks really purple. And goes the 28 count.
Purple. It's gonna turn purple, I think.
Alright, we will see. And then goes the very shiny, synthetic-ish other 8 o'clock, which may or may not work. We'll see. So we are just going to mix that and we're going to leave it. I'm going to come back and keep putting it in. I'm going to put probably a nice garden rock on top of that just to hold it in place. So that's,
I can get one.
see how it like rises to the top? I'm just going to put a rock on it basically to stop it rising to the top. And then I'll just come back and give it a stir every, I don't know, 10 minutes or so just so that it
Will
gets
this keep
even.
it down?
Just so it gets even distribution. And that is it. We'll show it to you soon. Thanks. Perfect for stitch goddies, which is what I made it for. So it has been ironed. It is in the hoop and I have a teeny tiny little start. Now there is, you'll notice a little bit of mottling in here and even a little bit of a line. Again, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter when it's started. Once it's, you know, everything's in there. So I have a teeny tiny little start, stitch goddess. That is that not the cutest house you have ever seen? So I love it. It's so adorable. And I haven't really stitched bright things before. Like most of my ones have been fairly like either one colour or, and for some reason this is just absolutely, I'm loving this, loving it. So watch this space, but stitch goddess pattern, I'll pop it up here. That is my new start. So lots of fun. Looking forward to that. So very happy. I have all this beautiful blue fabric, which is one of my favourite colours, and it will definitely come in useful. And started stitch goddess. So very happy. Very, very happy. Right. Carrying on with haul. Haul. There is a lot of haul. It just goes on. So, the first lot of haul started in Sydney. We went on a family trip to Sydney. It was great, but I've discovered that children do not have the same stamina as adults, which is interesting because I have a few health issues myself and my stamina is not good. So, it was kind of funny. My kids are 9 and 12 and the amount of times I heard, I'm hungry, I'm tired, and I want to go back to the hotel was amazing. So, I don't know, maybe we need to travel a little bit differently with the kids, but yeah, so that was kind of funny. So it was a good trip, but yeah. So the first place I stopped at and bought some stuff in Sydney was Morris & Co, if you know that place. And they used to be more of an embroidery shop a number of years ago now, I suppose. And now it seems to be more of a wool shop. But I dropped in there because that's kind of the only place I really know. Don't know Sydney that well. And to see what they had. And they didn't have a lot, to be honest. But I did buy myself a very cute little baby cockatoo pattern. I thought it was really sweet. So I got that. It was really cute. And got my daughter a really cute little, she chose it, little cat on a sofa picture, which I'll pop up here to show you. So her and I are kind of working on those. Here's where I'm at with my little cockatoo. It's really hard to see, so I'll warn you now that it's quite hard to see because I'm doing the yellow and the white. It's not much to see on there. But the only thing I'll say about this pattern, it's a DMC, is this is how the thread comes. That is how the thread comes. And I'm back. And so the threads come like this. And you have to work out what colour is what based on the descriptions. Doesn't sound too hard, right? So these are the descriptions. Light steel grey, pearl grey, very light pearl grey, dark beaver grey, dark brown grey, medium beaver grey, and yeah. Did you get that? Good. So if someone can let me know which of these is which beaver grey and which of these is steel and pearl and all those others, that would be great. Yeah, can't say I was overly excited. And then there's like 4 or 5 different kinds of brown, and then yeah, so not overly impressed with that, especially when I was sitting in a hotel in Sydney trying to work that out. So yeah, not my favourite way of getting a kit. So I need to sit down with threads I've already got and try and work out that. Anyway, we shall throw that over there. So I did get to go to one embroidery shop in other embroidery shop in Sydney, and that was Stitch. So I got out to Stitch and I bought a couple of patterns. I bought that the silks that I mentioned in my Gothic Cathedral pattern that I got, yeah, the Arversoir, I think it is. And I bought this pattern. It's by Ink Circles and it's called A Bit Dotty. And I just thought that was really nice, really pretty, and I really like the colours. So, and it's nice and small, so that'll be a nice kind of one just to sit down and whip up. And because I cannot resist anything that is kind of quirky, love something quirky, I bought by Rick Crack Flock. Flock is going to allow me to make galahs, budgies, and cockatoos to my heart's delight. Now, the thing about this pattern is you look at them and you'll assume that they're, I don't know, about that big. They are not. They're about this big. They are quite large birds. And I thought they were hilarious. That someone in the shop had made one, and I just thought it was so funny. So I'm going to make myself one of these, and I'm definitely making these for a gift for one or two lucky family members who will also think they're hilarious. I have, yeah, same quirky sense of humour. So yeah, that is definitely on my radar. Also, I came across some great bookstores in Sydney, and I can't even tell you the name of it. They just kept saying there's this great Japanese bookstore in Sydney, and it's upstairs, and we could see it out from outside the shops, but we couldn't work out how to get to it. It took us ages. And it was inside one of the malls, but it was upstairs, and don't even know the name of it. It was really bizarre. And we were going there for my son to find anime books. And when we got into the shop, it was like anime was like one area, and it was a big area. But this place was huge. This place was like an entire level of the mall. And it had sections everywhere. And the embroidery section, which is usually, one little area, was like an entire shelving unit of books. It was huge. And I could have been in there for days, but I resisted that. And but I did buy some books. So I bought silk. So this is it says Silk, A History in Three Metamorphoses, and it's Athrathi Prasad, and it is a history of silk, basically. Queen of fabrics, through the scientists who have studied silk and the biology of the animals from which it has been drawn. And yeah, this may sound incredibly boring to a lot of people, but it's the kind of thing I enjoy reading about history and stuff. So that's that one. I bought this book, which is actually, I found out, a New Zealand author. Didn't know that. The Untamed Thread by Fleur Woods. And she's actually a New Zealand embroiderer, which I didn't know. So there you go. The Untamed Thread. This book is beautiful. It is so beautiful. I had no idea just how pretty this book is. Like, I'll just see if I can pull up a page, because she's really into like just like a lot of stuff in here is just like, she puts all her colours and stuff out. And so she's an embroiderer, and she uses a lot of op shop stuff, and she recycles, and reuses and stuff like that. And she's actually been in like a few magazines and a few different things, and it was quite interesting actually, because as I said, I've never actually heard of her, which is kind of interesting given that, well, it's New Zealand and I do live here. But look at all those beads. Isn't that crazy? But it's not a project book so much as a bit of like inspiration and ideas to get inspired and how to think about creating and, textile journey, I suppose. But so beautiful. So I've like looked through that book so many times, and it's really inspiring. So that's well worth looking at, even if you just get out of your library and just enjoy the pictures. Like, really nice, really, really nice. The last one I got, I've been wanting for a while, and I haven't seen it on a bookshop here. And I saw it in Sydney, and I was like, it is coming home with me. And that is this one, Paint with Thread by Emily Ferris. She is, just beautiful. Look at that bee. Her detail of an embroidery is just amazing. She's just got so much. Here's a good photo. Look at that. That's just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. And I found like she just like, this is a project book, right? So you can do projects in this book, and one of the projects you can do is that bee. But look at this. Look at this robin. I love that robin. And it's all very step by step, and she shows you how she adds the detail in and how she gets all the stitches done. And some of the projects are simpler, so you don't have to you know, you don't have to be adding that much detail. I love this. This is a definite in my book because I love dandelions and stuff like that. I mean, that is just so pretty. Yeah, so Emily Ferris, if you've never heard of her, check her out on Instagram or something like that, because even if you're more a cross stitcher and you're not an embroiderer, just looking at her stuff on Instagram is just worth it. It's just worth it just to look at it. No other reason. Just look at it. It is super pretty. Right, I'm just looking at what I've got left because my goodness, the pile that I had here was insane. When I started, the pile is now over here, but it's still taking over my life. Right, I need to take one little break and I will be back with the rest of my haul. Right, so we're back, the last bit of my video. So on the way up to the Great Escape in Orewa, stopped off at Ribbon Rose. For those in New Zealand, especially in the North Island, you'll know Ribbon Rose, one of the biggest shops that we have stocking like craft stuff, like every kind of craft stuff, 3 floors. So I was able to pick up a few things I needed and a few things I didn't. So things I didn't, I got this adorable little pouch that says happy as a seagull with a French fry, which is so true, isn't it? Look at him, he's adorable. This is by Twig Seeds, and I love attention to detail, lined with this cute little yellow spotty fabric. And I picked up some just some size 10 and 12 needles that I've been needing for that Maree Talbot project. Everything's so fine. And a needle threader because I am struggling with those tiny needles to get some of them threaded, so I thought I would try a threader to see if it helped me at all. And I needed some new hoops, so I got a small one just for that real close stuff, and I got a bigger one which has already got a project in it, about yay big. And I picked up this kit which is so sweet. Bothy threads. How cute is that? You can choose to do the mouse on either the green or the pink reel. They give you both colours and you just choose which one you want, but I was like, oh, it's so cute. So yeah, it's only a little one. It comes out at 15 centimetre circle, it says. So I don't know, like, yeah, whether you get some sort of circle in there to mount it, but anyway, it's really cute. And everything's in there ready to go, so that's kind of just a nice little kit, which I thought would be pretty sweet to do. So I picked that up. And then up at the Great Escape, I won one of the raffles, and when you get called, you get to pick from the table. So there were a few books and scraps, not scraps, fabric and threads and stuff. But I picked this up. Check this thing out. So if you're wondering what it is, it's actually a footstool. So you unscrew this bit here, and this top middle bit comes out, and you can put padding and then your embroidery, like your tapestry, on it. You wouldn't probably put your feet on it, it's more for display. But you could do it like a heavy duty tapestry or wool or something in there and mount your embroidery in there, which I thought was pretty cool. So I got that. So that was pretty lucky. Oh, I missed this. I got this from Ribbon Rose as well. I picked this up for my daughter by Flamingo Toes, a little needle minder. She is cat crazy, so I picked her up that. And I actually picked myself up one as well, but I'm going to have to get it. So give me 1 second, if I can pause this. And I'm back. I picked myself this one up by Flamingo Toes, Little Flower Market. They are so cute. there was a whole lot of them. It's like a little tea shop and all kinds of them. They're quite heavy duty and the magnets are so good. Like everything holds really well. Because sometimes they just don't, you know, sometimes your needles don't hold really well, but this one is really, try and look some of the light so you can see it. But yeah, really love this one. I can kind of see a whole little town forming in my sewing bag. So yeah, that was super cute. And then at the Great Escape, they had the guilds were having a sales table, so things people have donated they don't need anymore, and they were selling them off secondhand and so cheap. So all that fabric I was hunting for, suddenly it was everywhere. I got some serious deals ready for my next dye lot, because now that I've done it once, I already have my next thought of what I want to dye. But I picked up a couple of tiny little projects. So I picked up this little pattern just for a strawberry pin cushion, which is pretty cute. This is a really pretty pattern by Just Nan. I've never heard of Just Nan, but this is Amethyst Snowflake. How pretty is that? Yeah. Just Nan from Tulsa, Oklahoma, it says. So that's come a long way. And then, oh yeah, looks like it's got beads and stuff on it, so I'll have to, but that's really nice. And now I have this. Oh, I won this in the raffle too. There was like a little soap thing, beeswax, sorry, and a tiny little pair of snips. That was part of my raffle with the foot stall. So fabric, I mean, big pieces of fabric, and this is still halved, you know. I mean, that's probably a 28-32 count. This is much stiffer, but I reckon that's probably about the same. But again, huge pieces that's still halved, more, you know. And then this is something much finer. This is probably like maybe a 40 count or something. And then purple, just because, or it looks kind of blue in there, but it's not. It's a dark purple. And just some different colours. And then I know a lot of people don't like black, but I quite like a little bit of black sometimes. So some black, black, and then some nice dark blue. And then this massive, like this has got to be a couple of meters of pale blue, at least 2 meters worth of pale blue. And that's probably a 28 as well. But I mean, that's huge. Huge. That's like definitely a long dog or something, easily. Maybe a couple of long dogs, which is great because I've got a long dog hopefully in the work next year. Maybe even this year, actually. I just want to get one big project out of the way and then I'm going to start a long dog for next year. So we will see. But yeah, so I think that's all my haul. It's been kind of like hard to get around. I've sort of had bits of stuff everywhere and this video has been broken up over a few days due to kids needing a bit of TLC and things. So I think that's everything, hopefully. But yeah, I've been watching a lot of blogs lately, Flosstube, sorry, and there's so many good ones out there. So Samantha from the, I always the pronunciation always gets me because I want to say Hygie and it's not, it's Huga, like Hygge, but it's Huga Stitcher. And Lady Marmalade and Stitches and Nattering with Nancy and Blushing Pink stitching, and I Stitch Birds with Laura. You know, there's so many good ones out there. And you know, a common thread I see with a lot of these floss tubes is people are unwell, they're having babies, they're under stress, things are going on in their lives, you know, and everyone feels really apologetic about it, and I sort of thought, you know, because I've got my own sort of like health stuff going on in the background, and I don't always talk about it here because Flosstube, here to talk about my crafts and stuff. But the reality is, I've got fibromyalgia, I've got inflammatory arthritis and chronic fatigue, and I get chronic migraines, like there's all this stuff that's piled up in the background, and you just try and get on with your everyday life. But I just thought, to everyone out there who's having a tough time and who shows up here and shares their stuff and is part of this whole Flosstube community, thank you for showing up, because this is like a bright spot in my week, and it's okay if you can't show up, and it's okay if you're not always doing as well as you want to, like, yeah, I just thought, we're all human, and I just thought everyone just seems a little run down and stuff at the moment, and I just thought, just wanted to say, thank you. Thank you for showing up, because it's great when you're home and like I can't work at the moment because all the stuff I've mentioned plus some other things, and gets lonely and boring sometimes home in the day. So making these Flosstube videos is part of just breaking that up, but also like excuse me, need some water. But also like hearing how everyone else out in the big wide world is doing is it is actually really meaningful. It's like part of the community and things. So excuse me. It's really valuable. So you're coming here and you're sharing your time and the things that you're into and stuff, and I just don't devalue that, don't feel that you're not doing enough and things, and yeah, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for watching me and listening to me rant about my stuff, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and please share it with your friends and tell me how you're doing and what you're into. Link your blog so we can create a bit more of a community, and I definitely need to go and have a big drink of water. So thank you, and I will see you next time. Bye.